Oh, hi there, my name's Paul Sherman and I am the author of Where Seagulls Dare and Other Tales from Herm Island, and I have just conducted a rather pleasant walk around part of Herm Island, reading snippets of the stories in the locations they were set. I started writing Where Seagulls Dare about 8 years ago, but in the last 2 years I've accelerated the pace, so it was finished this year and published by Blue Ormer Publishing, and it's available from the Herm gift shop, from Lexicon in Guernsey, and from the Post shop, and also on Amazon and the Waterstones Books website, and of course the Blue Ormer website as well. My love of Herm is borne out throughout the whole of the stories, and one thing that people say about it when they read the book, if they don't know Herm, they have said that on reading the book they do really feel that Herm is a place that they would like to visit. Others say it captures the spirit of Herm. Herm is big in every one of the stories. It features very, very strongly in every one of the stories. So, hope you managed to get a copy and be able to read it, and if I see you, I'll be happy to sign it for you. Thanks very much. Millicent wondered what on earth was up with the man. Then he did something unforgivable. He winked at her. She turned away sharply, incensed at his precocity. It was all she could do to stop herself reprimanding him, but she did allow herself a peek back at him to see what his mood was now. He was still ogling her, with that cheeky grin on his face. Millicent turned away and concentrated on the view of Herm as the Trident ploughed its steady way across the water. The island was growing larger now, and although it had been many years since she was last here, she had a warm feeling that she was coming home. She could make out the White House Hotel and Fisherman's Cottage and part of the South Cliffs. Yes, it felt definitely like coming home. Musonier Beach is the wildest part of Herm Island. It comprises half a mile of isolated sand, rock and sea. There is a primitive quality in the way the waves crash and surge among the rocks, and the way the wind whips the sand from the sand dunes stingingly across the beach. The mix of blue-black water and virgin white surf, stretching as far as the eye can see down to Alderney Point, and all in a constant state of flux, redefines existence. The vast empty white beach, unpopulated apart from the gulls soaring overhead and the oyster catchers chattering noisily at the shoreline, stretches in both directions, while the watchful eye of Pierrot Rats, the stone obelisk standing high on the sand dunes, stares down upon all. It stared down upon Millicent Soames and Major Ralph Higginbottom standing at the sea's edge. It watched as Millicent sank into a sitting position on a rock, the walk along the beach having taken it out of her poor old legs. Now, why Millicent is going to Musonier and her mission involves the parcel, you recall, that she carries from the UK with her, and how the military man who winked at her on the Trident eventually actually comes to her rescue and becomes a knight in shining armour, is all in the story Return to Herm Island. The case of the poisoned Pinot. Yes. Coming ashore, hardly unobtrusively, was a tall, thin young man with a hooked nose and eager eyes. Hardly unobtrusive because of the way he was dressed. Deerstalker, cape, leggings, carrying a violin case, and a pipe firmly wedged between his teeth. Bloody hell, it's Sherlock Holmes, one of the island porters observed. Indeed it is, my man, said the character, who was the very epitome of that famous sleuth. I'm here for the Sherlock Holmes convention. I wonder if you would point me in the right direction. The porter looked at his mate. Sherlock Holmes convention, he said. I don't know what's going on here this weekend, do you, Ron? His co-worker shook his head. Now, I thought as how I heard tell there was one on Sark, but not here. The young man's face brightened. That's right, Sark, he chimed. Then his face fell. This isn't Sark, is it? No, I'm afraid not. This is Herm. The deuce, Watson, he turned to an imaginary companion. We've come to the wrong island. Then he brightened again. Oh, well, thanks, gentlemen. Maybe you could point me in the direction of Sark. We can point you in that direction, said the porter, who wasn't Ron. But you won't be getting there tonight. He indicated the Trident, which had pulled away from the harbour. Jolly good grief, Watson, he said, flummoxed. Then to the men, can you call her back? call her back in this weather? No chance. Anyway, even if you got back to Guernsey, you won't get a boat to Sark till tomorrow, if then. Depends on this gale abating. I take it there's accommodation in one of the hotels here, Holmes asked. They might be able to put you up in the hotel, the White House. There's only one. But it is the wine tasting weekend. It'll be pretty full. Come along, Watson, the senior young gentleman said. This is one mystery that isn't going to be solved by procrastination. And Sherlock Holmes strode off, violin case in one hand and travelling bag in the other. Who does he keep talking to, Mark? The one called Ron said. There's no one with him. What if he's Sherlock Holmes, the one called Mark said? He obviously thinks he's got Dr. Watson with him. Dr. Watson? Yeah, helped him solve all his cases and wrote all the stories about them. Ah, got a bit of a screw loose then. Possibly not. Just takes himself a bit too seriously. There is a boorish wine magnate taking part from California, and he's the one who dies spectacularly after sipping his own wine in front of the assembled company. Nobody cares because he's a horrible guy, but our fake Sherlock Holmes is determined to solve the mystery. And it's the longest story in the book, and it's obviously a spoof, but it's because I ask people who buy the book to let me know which their favourite story is, and by far the most favourite story is the Herm Miracle, the one set in St. Seagulls. But this one comes a close second.